Alright. What is up, YouTube? HPJ here. Hope you guys are doing well. It is time to talk about, my Puzzle and Dragons teams. I think I wanted to start off with a team that I definitely am waiting for the changes for this team, but we're still waiting for the collaboration to come so that I can change this team. This is Digimon, and this is one of the many Digimon teams that I have used over the last year. Because when Digimon came out, it was actually the end of December 2024, going into January 2025, and this is probably the team that I spent the most money on, as well as the collab that I spent the most money on next to Yu-Gi-Oh! But no, Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually is the one I spent the most money on. Yeah, definitely Yu-Gi-Oh! And the great thing about the Digimon team is that you may see Takaru in the lead, but the team's basis is focused on Omnimon and getting Omnimon set up, because Omnimon is going to be your main component for VDP, damage voiding, damage void piercing, negation, board setup, board presence. Like, everything is basically here just to cater to Omnimon. And funny enough, you can pair TK with Omnimon and have a sufficient team. Now, I know in most builds when it comes to Omnimon, don't worry, I'll show off my Omnimon team that's consistent with it just being Omnimon. Because I know that's where many of you would really like to see what I've built with that. But I wanted to just focus on, well, having everybody together now, because once the new array of stuff comes, this team's going to definitely be null and void, because Digimon did have a rerun in Japan servers. The problem is that they went into O2. I heard some of the older cards got buffed, but a lot of the focus now has shifted to Imperial Dramon. Omnimon does have a solid team, and it actually runs the new Imperial Dramon. One of the new Imperial Dramons, it's Imperial Dramon Paladin mode. And the other team that has done extremely well from the rerun has been Imperial Dramon. Now, I don't have much information on Imperial Dramon, and I don't have much basis on Imperial Dramon Paladin mode, because I did get the APK to put the JP version of Puzzle and Dragons onto my phone, but then I found out that, by the way, the team that you were trying to put all this effort into, yeah, you were a day late, so now you just have to run with everything else that was given, which sucks, but it happens. So, what is up with this team? Well, this team is led by TK and Patamon. It has Kari and Tailmon, Joe and Gomamon, and then 2 copies of Omnimon. Now, if I was to use my own helper, it would be another Omnimon, because that's efficiently how that team would work. So, it would be 2 Omnimon, it'd be the helper Omnimon, your own 2 Omnimon, Joe and Kari, and then TK for the for TK's ability, and Jimon's abilities. Because for those who don't know, who have never watched Digimon, Digimon are in a way is similar to that of Pokemon, with that they have evolutions for the creatures that are known as Digimon, the digital monsters. So Puzzle and Dragons incorporated that by making them into transformation cards, where after a certain amount of turns, their active skill will trigger. They'll do a certain ability and then transform into will have their Digimon Digivolve, and then they get a whole different form for the card's artwork. I put a lot of effort into this team, and I was very, very happy that I had put all the effort I could into this team. And this is one of my favorite teams um, that I've had in my Monster Box. I am going to do a run of all my teams in the Monster Box, and I'm currently playing, because there are a lot of new ones that have been formed over the year too, especially with all the collabs. But why don't we go ahead and get into this? We got to start off with TK and Patamon. They changed into TK and Magna Angemon, and as you can see, yeah, the changes of stats and everything are tremendous, because that's what cards who have changeability do. This was not the first collab to have changed. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Yu-Gi-Oh! That had the first wave of cards that changed because of Dark Magician, Yu-Gi and his Dark Magicians. Then it was like the whole team was just full of like transformation cards. And it's kind of similar to what this team is. Every card has a ton of skill boosts, have additional equips that will give them skill boosts to help you get into the digivolving forms, and then help you basically push through dungeons, because that's literally what this team does. So the leader skill for TK is TK's partner Digimon. Your movement time is 15 seconds. Okay. In exchange, you get 30 times attack, half damage inflicted to you, half damage, and you inflict 1 damage when 3 attributes attack at once. At 2.5 times HP, no, like 2.2 times HP for light attribute. Basically, we're gonna focus on light, we're going to buff light, and then we're going to make it to where when you use 3 or more attributes in attacking, the damage output is enhanced, which is really good. Now, when you digivolve, you then become TK and Magna Angemon, or TK and Holy Angemon. Holy Angemon has the Heaven's Gate ability, which is creates a roulette, ups this team's skills. Yeah, no, sorry. It recovers 30% of the HP. This ally's damage cap is now set to 9.99 billion for about 5 turns, and it creates a roulette that will last for 5 turns. The roulette is definitely useful, and there are a lot of dungeons in the game that have the mechanic of a roulette. So the roulette basically goes through a cycle of orbs that can range from basically all the orbs in the game to a certain number of orbs in the game. Some of these roulettes can be extremely slow, which you can take advantage of, or if you know how to play the game and time things correctly, you can play around with a speedy roulette that is extremely fast and the orbs move through their rotation like crazy. But this is where Heaven's Gate comes in, because it helps just basically swap whatever current roulette is in play that you don't want to mess with, and you have your own roulette to play around with. The other thing are Takaru and Anjumon, Magna Anjumon's Awakenings, which when you start with Patamon, and this is for a lot of the transformation cards, like I said earlier, they have a lot of skill boosts, but some of them will come with really good abilities attached to them. You see this barrel that's on the side. This is the Aging Awakening. 1.5 times to all your stats for the first 5 battles and onward, but then after 10 battles or onward, you'll get a 2 times to all your stats. And then this effect doesn't work during 2-player mode, which is fine. But having your solo runs with a boost of power and boost of stats becomes really, really helpful. Now, I did equip Takaru with a couple of things. As you see, I have my Leighton, which is for the stop um, poison Skyfall. Comes very handy with dungeons, because none of my team really has a way to deal with jammers and poison orbs, but it actually really does. I just don't want like the Skyfalls, and to be honest with you, I rather deal with jammers than poison orbs, because poison orbs take your HP away. You know, like poison in most games. So yeah, I definitely did not want to deal with that. Then we have this two-prong attack. Two-prong attacks are super two-prong attacks. I'm sorry, not super. Enhanced two-prong attacks. This is this right here with the U and the plus next to it. Yeah, so when you match 4 or more orbs of the color of the card that you're playing, then you'll be able to swing at 2 Digimon for the price of 1. There is no damage separator or anything. It's just that any damage that you would do to 1 Digimon, you're going to be able to do to multiple. And with the more the um was it the TPAs, as they're going to be called, the um two-prong attacks, yeah, so the more sets of 4 that you do, you will do more damage, which is great for a team like this because of who it partners with. Now, I love all of this attached to it, because you have so much defense in this team, and like I said, the leader skill is really great, because all this team, even Joe, who you saw earlier, is focusing on being a machine type, a light type, a light attribute machine type card, and the precipice of falling in the lineup of fire, water, and light orbs, and those being generated. The other thing about this, of course, is this nice cloud resist and this nice blind resist that comes in very handy when the hazards of cloud or blind come into play. And when you do evolve into Magna Angemon, you not only keep those, but you get the levitate, and you also get the 2 10 times combos, which works really well when your board starts changing, or you just want to, swap on the new combinations with the Omnimons. And don't worry, we'll get the Omnimon soon. Omnimon will not be relegated to now being part of the team. He will be part of the team. Now, the weapon assist that I chose for this is the Shield of Divine Radiance. And it's simply just because I wanted the team HP buff and I wanted the single equipped HP buff in that nice little skill boost. But this is good for teams like Omnimon where they need a lot of HP to survive and tank through a lot of hits and then be able to start transforming so that you can get into the form that you really want to get into. From there, the only other... No, that's everything. Next up is Kari and her partner Digimon, Tailmon. I'm sorry, Hikari and Gatomon. I know anime translations, different things, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? Change between the two names. Look, at least I know who it is. So they transform into Angelmon and Hikari. And of course, we have Angel Mommy taking the stage. Which is also ironic because if you look at the leader skill, when this Digimon is the leader, it literally states the leader skill as the high angel Digimon who looks like a beautiful woman. And I mean, she's a gorgeous woman. Not beautiful, gorgeous. Now, how does she play well in this team? Well, Kari creates light orb before she transforms. On a 25 turn cooldown, she will then charge all other ally skills by 1, remove all locked orbs on the field, then create 15 light and heal orbs, and then change into Angelmon and Hikari. Still, large amount of skill boost. She has that aging. I gave her Indra's equipped, which you can see right there because even if I don't use her skill right away, I have Indra's to give a shield, and then I have team HP buff. I have a single HP buff. And I have a skill boost. Excuse me. Tell me up. I also have a super time mixed in, which is kind of null and void because Takaru's leader skill forces the orb movement time to only be 15 seconds, so the enhancements don't hurt, and neither will debuffs. That's one of the big things about this team as well. Why it does have that strong restriction of 15 seconds for movement. You can still get a lot of damage done, especially with how I built this team and how this team itself operates. But I wanted this injury here to help out with mitigating damage, but also being able to help out in case I can't, get to my Angelmon or Lady Dead. Angelmon or Hikari. Now, when transformed, Angelmon's signature attack, the Celestial Arrow, gets used and enhance the attack and RCB for each machine on the team for 4 turns, and then fully recovers Awoken Binds and Unmatchables, which in this current game state of puzzle and trackers, yeah, you can have to run into. And be very, very careful of, because it will happen. Oh my god, I'm so sick of notifications. I'm so sorry, you guys. Anyway, big changes here is that similar to Takeru and Angemon, Holy Angemon, we will see the skill boot. We'll see the skill bind resist, the blind resist, the voice as well, because they call out their signature attacks. But we also have 2 L unlocks, which comes in handy because if your board gets locked up, you can make an L of this card's orbs, unlock it, enhance your attack capability, and it starts breaking down the damage, which is great and perfect for a team like this. And you have that nice barrel to give even more stat buffs as well. I gave Kari the Latent Awakening of Assist Void, so every time she makes an L, it reduces the Assist Void situation by 1. And I also gave her 2 improved recovery latents, so that way we can help with the recovery. Because there are some dungeons that will try to, deplete your HP as soon as possible, or try to make a hindrance of your HP's recovery. It's like Anjouman and Hikari come in great hand. As that nice support with Indra. From there, we have Joe and Gomamon. Joe and Gomamon, the comic relief of Digimon Adventures 1, does come in as Oh Reliable Joe. Because that's the joke in the series is Oh Reliable Joe. And they call Joe they call Joe Senpai. I think that's how, yeah, they call Joe Senpai. And if you don't know what Senpai means, basically it means teacher. It's referred to as the oldest one in the group who is known for being the wisest. And that's basically what they call Joe. Because Joe is technically the oldest. Joe is 14. Most of them are either 12 or 13. I think Joe is the oldest, literally, by most of the kids. TK and Kari are still young. But when Joe and Gomamon get together, of course, Gomamon being his partner, I will protect everyone, will then transform them into Joe and Zudomon. Zudomon, of course, is the ultimate form of Gomamon. And he's rocking some really good setups here as well. And his signature attack, which is the Vulcan's Hammer. For the weapon assist that I chose, I mean, you can choose any really good water one. If you don't want to use Pardinius, you can use, what is it? Pad Island. Let's say summer vacation. Pad Island Fujin, who gives a really good lineup of things as well. But what you do with this is basically it also appear enhanced for about 5 turns and will reduce damage for 5 turns, giving a machine equipped a bind resist, a T shape, and orb enhancement sky falls of both dark and water orbs, which is not really the most useful thing because as you'll see later, this team doesn't really focus on dark as part of its whole lineup. It actually focuses on the 3 major colors, which Joe and Gomamon help produce. So I will protect everyone, of course. Reduces half the damage for 3 turns, then allows the transformations to happen, in which they become Zudobai. Now, we want to go further from there. Joe has a lot of skill boosts to help this team in his team, in his need to do the skill boost, and a nice L unlock for more personal damage increase. Now, we won't talk too much about the leader skill because it's irrelevant to this because we're not using Joe as a leader, we're using Joe as a sub. Joe then becomes probably one of the most reliable parts of the TK Omnimon setup. Vulcan's Hammer for 2 turns will double your attack in damage output by up set to 11 billion for this card for 1 turn, but then removes locked orbs and then creates 6 fire, water, and light and heart orbs on the board, which helps out with the Omnimon and the TKs when they combine forces, because this is basically just a way of producing the orbs needed to do the damage. As you can see here, we even have a water row enhance, which can become handy because Kari over there, she has a light row enhance. Here's Joe with his water row enhance. So basically, if you match a row of a particular attribute, you'll increase the damage output as well as those 10 plus combo awakenings, where once you hit 2 combos or more, that's when escalation damage gets more enhanced. So it's a lot of damage coming out of it. I don't remember exactly what dungeon I was running, but I needed Devil Killer Latents, which increases your damage output if there are devils in play as your opponents, and then 4 skill resist for those resist delay skill setups. All right, from there we now move on to the main man himself. This is Omegamon, in Japan, but if you know him here, he is Omnimon. Omnimon is a tricolor card. As you can see, we're mostly dealing with two colors that either were blue and yellow, dual color yellow, or triple yellow. Well, Omnimon over here has none of that. He is going for a straight three color card setup with a skill boost, a super skill boost, both in his base awakenings and his super awakening. He also has the aging barrel, which of course, the more turns that he is involved in, which also depends on the dungeon, the more his stats will increase. Then with the two super skill boosts and of course the two prong attack, the super two prong attack, which is if you match a column of four orbs of this Digimon's color, it will attack two Digimon or multiple Digimon instead of multiple opponents instead of one to help you clear through that floor, and it still will be the same damage output. Now the crazy thing about this is that it's a double setup, so you'll get even more damage. You'll get two times that damage instead of just the normal plus. So, yeah. It was a nice way for things here with Mr. Omnimon. Omnimon, in his signature ability, is an evolution skill. So he sets from one skill, goes into another. But in most recent, a lot of these evolution skills tend to do a roulette. Well, not a roulette, but a circle around. They'll go from stage one to stage two, and then back to stage one. Some will even go through multiple steps just to get to their final ability. And Omnimon is not doing that. He is cutting through those corners. Omnimon is already just a base card, and he has an evolution, which is his Transcendent Sword. The giant sword with the Greymon head that you see right there. Which, and to be very fair, this is probably some of the sickest artwork we've seen of Omnimon thus far. And we're going to get a fusion of Omnimon in the next series, Digimon 2. Their leaders, Ace Monster, as well. They fuse together. There's a whole movie about this as well. But so we start off with Transcendent Swords, which for a maximum of 5 turns, this ally's damage output is now 2 billion. You void damage absorption and piercing damage void for 2 turns, destroying one shield and then this skill evolves into Supreme Cannon, which is Garurumon's cannon, which is on the right side. 4 times attack and damage cap to 4 billion for this ally for 1 turn. Removes locked orbs. Changes all orbs to fire, water, light, and heal. Destroys 1 shield and returns to stage 1 after use. Yeah, this is a pretty big thing. This is a double combination, then leader skill evolution into a enhancement of your stats plus a shield breaker, which I'll talk about shield in just a second. A full board change with an orb lock and full board change into all the colors that this card is on its own. This is why this Digimon was one of the strongest cards to be created in Puzzle and Dragons, and even to the point where the creator of the game said, yeah, I want you to stack up on these because we didn't realize it was going to be that powerful. And it was. It was clearing in-game content like crazy. Not this particular build, but the Omnimon lineup, which I do have a version of that to show as well. Because at the time, JP servers are always ahead of us. They ended up getting a Digimon they got the Digimon collab, but then later on they ended up getting a Disney collab, which we ended up getting too. And it's the first and probably the last time we'll get a Disney collab. But for the most part, what it was basically, here is your main hitter for the team. He is your massive orb changer, your massive board correction with both damage void piercing damage void and damage absorption all in one. So you see why this card was sought after. This is probably the most expensive card I think most people were buying because you needed multiples of these for the constructed team, and you did. That's why I have 4. As you can see there, it says 3 cards, but in reality, it's 3 of this Omnimon, and then the weapon assist for the Transcendent Source. According to what we see in JP, there is supposed to be an when the OT cast comes over, we're going to get another weapon assist, which is the Guru Cannon on its own. Now, I don't know exactly what it's going to do, but I do know from the Transcendent Swords that it's going to be the one that gives the damage, the first half of the ability. So we assume that the Guru Cannon is going to give the second half. In addition to that, we have the Dark Gear. This is actually a weapon that is created through having what is his name? Devimon. This is the assist from Devimon. Now, the skill is not what you use it for. I mean, use it for the skill, but let's be real. You're gonna override that dark attribute enhancement. You really just want the double skill boost, so yeah, you can help speed up your team to get into their transformations. This will then turn your Digimon as the weapon assist ability. You will give your Digimon Devil typing, skill boost, Darkness Awakening, Tape Resist, 7 combo up Awakening, and a skill bind resist. Now, with all of that, the only thing that you really don't care about is the Devil and the Dark Row enhance. We're really much here for everything else attached to this weapon assist. The tape resistance is great. So tape, if you ever see tape with an X on it, that means immobilized. The tape is immobilized. There are some dungeons that will immobilize your movement of orbs, so you have to combo strategically. That's where this having 2 or more of those will help because it'll reduce the chances of that. Um, Definitely helps with reducing the immobilize on it. But I sincerely do love the fact that I was able to pick up 2 of these and give them to the Omnimon that are present on the board. Omnimon comes with his own aging barrel, a skill boost, 2 of the 10 combo awakenings. This is great. The double 2-prong attack. Voice recognition, so when you use Transcendent Sword, he'll say Transcending Sword, and when you use Guru Cannon, he'll say Guru Cannon. Because I think the translation is completely different. But yeah, he'll say Gray Sword and then Guru Cannon. While here it says Transcending Swords and Supreme Cannon, because I don't know what the whole ordeal of that was. But anyway, yeah, so this is basically our boy Omnimon. Omnimon's leader skill is Ultimate Fused Digimon. 4 times attacking plus 1 combo for each group of 4 linked water, fire, and light orbs. 10 million damage and reduces damage by 80% when you match the colors of fire, water, and light at once. So it's a really good combination when you're matching these orbs. You have this amazing team leader, and yeah, all he wants you to do is make 2-prong. Now, there was another card in the game that had a major focus on like 2-prong. Actually, there were several of them, but the main component to this was the card known as Daytona. It was a giant race car. I think it was supposed to pay homage to Daytona, USA. You know, when they sing Daytona. That's actually what, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the cars, the Daytona cars. And we actually have a Daytona car in Puzzles and Dragons that transforms into a giant mech. It's actually really cool. Um, if you see it. It also has 2 variations of itself, multiple variations of itself, because it's a really cool card, and I'll make a team of it to show you what it looks like. But yeah, this is basically just a more enhanced version of that Daytona and doesn't have to have the transformation. And I swapped on 2 of these, and both of them are holding the black gear. The other thing that they're holding is this right here, the attribute absorb piercing, because as you can see, yeah, we do piercing for basically everything except for damage. Attribute absorption. And attribute absorption can be very irritating. What is attribute absorption? Like it says, basically, if you attack with a particular attribute, you're going to gain HP. And that's kind of where the team itself fell on, is that it does not have a damage attribute absorption cancel list. But if you have multiple of these bad boys on, you can pierce through the damage. And because I am 120 on both my armor, yeah, my boys are picking up some major damage. And then they also have the attacker increase as well, so they can do even more damage. This is, like I said, it's crazy how much damage you're outputting with this. And that's what was the ultimate team for me. There was another team similar to this. I don't know if it's like on the next page. No, it's not on the next page. But I had a similar team. Here it is. It's all the way on the other side. But this is it. This is the other Omnimon team that I built. And I built this team to basically kind of mimic what I was already building. But as you can see, yeah, there are major changes to it. Like there's 3 Omnimon There's only two black gears, one transcended sword, Joe by himself, and then you don't see Kari or TK. But over there, you do see the lovely Aurora from Disney. Yes, the Disney Princess Aurora. But that's for another video that I'll talk about when I get the chance. Right now, I just want to focus on this one and basically tell you that, yeah, this was a team I was rocking for a few months up until the meta itself changed, in quotes, meta game, where this team was not the optimal team for a lot of the newer content. It actually still pushes pretty well. It has a lot of cards that came out later on to try to help support the team. But I think the major issue for the team itself was just that you needed so much and you had to roll for all of its pieces to really get things. Because the only thing I think were acceptable um, for exchange were TK Kari, um, was it Diaboromon, the Omnimon himself, and then I think just like exchanging tokens and stuff for other things and rewards. And this is, I think, like I said, one of my biggest teams that I ever created. I spent a lot of money on this motherfucker, so it better have been fucking good. Otherwise, yeah, it was just gonna be a complete waste. And I had amazing time playing this. I had an amazing time going through all of this, and yeah, it was probably one of my favorites. It's still one of my favorites. Do I play it? Not as often as I like to, but hey, I definitely will be playing it once the new wave of stuff comes, because there is a new um, Omnimon team that has formed up in JP. I unfortunately, like I said earlier, was not able to get to it because when I downloaded the Japanese version of it through all the crazy shenanigans of getting that, I just unfortunately did not get it. I didn't get a chance to get anything from it. I got to see the banner, which had Davis and Flamedramon, but that was about it. That was literally it. But I'll keep you guys posted on my teams and what things are coming up with Puzzle and Dragons when I get the chance. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel because that helps it out tremendously. You can hit the notification bells before content that is coming. Let me know if you guys like these videos. Well, I'm redoing them anyway because I need some more content on my channel. But yeah, it's something to do, ain't it? Well, alright, you guys. I'll catch you all next time. ACJ signing out. Take care. And no, I don't want to do that. I need to make that a solid color. And then move it too.